Let's go. Hello everyone, and yes indeed it's the beginning of Super Sunday and the last double header of the IPL 2022 is upon us at last. Now before we begin, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Yes, I am a lone warrior today. We are normally joined by 3, sometimes 4 people, but before everyone asks, Nikhil is on an off. He's enjoying a day at home. So that's your answer for that. Whereas fathers, well, Siddharth will be bringing you updates on the Thomas Cup. The final is ongoing as we speak, and Siddhant is busy with other work. So you're going to be stuck with just me today. Sorry about that. If that is something that you were a little disappointed by, well, I'll try my best to make it up to you. Take all of your questions, have as much fun as we possibly can, and well, to start off Super Sunday, we have quite an interesting match, albeit I have to address the other elephant in the room in the sense that the 3:30 kickoff or the 3:30 match that starts today is something of a dead rubber. Now that's because the Gujarat Titans have already in fact qualified for the playoffs, and the Chennai Super Kings have already been knocked out of playoff contention. So it's going to be quite, in that sense, there's not much to play for either team. Gujarat will be playing for because, well, they want, they're going to try and keep some form maybe before the playoffs start. With Chennai, they're playing for a little but pride. But given the kind of bad publicity that they've been getting of recent times, I think they could do with a win on the field. Love Rami says, happy Sunday, Shane sir. Why alone? Well, Love Rami, as I said, Nikhil is on a day off, and the other people, well, they have other stuff to do, so there is other work going on. So as of now, I'll be with you guys, absolute lone warrior. Yeah, it's easier said than done. When Jadeja does it, it looks very easy. Ow, my wrist hurts. Anyway, so that's why I'm alone for now, and that is why we're going to be previewing the match between the Gujarat Titans and the Chennai Super Kings. Now, as I said, there's really very little to play for either of these sides. Of course, you can say that Gujarat would want a win because if they get to 20 points, they're pretty much all but guaranteed a top 2 spot, if not even a top spot. If they get a top 2 spot, very important for them because, as we know, if you finish in the top 2, you get 2 bites at the cherry at making the final because you'll play in qualifier 1. And if you lose qualifier 1, you make it to qualifier 2 anyway. Win qualifier 1 and you go straight through to the final. So obviously, I think Gujarat Titans would indeed be looking to maybe get that win, get to 20 points, guarantee themselves a top 2 spot. Chennai, as I said, well, they have been a franchise in battle this season. I mean, the season started with them, naming a new captain, Ravindra Jadeja, form which he showed both as a player and as a captain, questionable at best. In the middle of the season, they changed the captaincy again, gave it back to MSD, and since then there's been some sort of controversy because, as we know, Jadeja got ruled out due to an injury, but there's multiple news reports saying that he's not very happy with his position at CSK, and he was very disappointed that he lost captaincy. And then to make things worse, yesterday, as we know, we had Ambati Raidu, another very experienced veteran warhorse of Chennai Super Kings. He came out, announced his retirement in a tweet, deleted said tweet, and then Kashi Vishwanathan, the CEO of CSK, was basically clarifying to everyone that no, he's not really retired. He will be playing for the franchise for at least another season. So again, definitely, as I say, CSK have been a bit of a franchise in battle. They want to focus on the match in hand and focus on what they can control, block out that outside noise, KL Rahul style, and maybe get another win, because as we know, it doesn't really matter now if they win, they're out of contention. But you can play for pride, and I mean sport, regardless of whether there's any major stakes or there's no stakes, you still want to win. So can we look at the comment section in that regard? Let's see if we have any few people asking us something, or sorry, asking me something. Harshit Padalia asking, Raidu's injury incoming and loading today. Good one. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I don't think they're going to be dropping him because, well, he's still a valuable batsman in that lineup, even though this season I don't think he's done an awful lot. But I mean, again, for his experience, and we know that he's someone who can single-handedly turn games around with the bat. Very, very talented batsman on his day, very destructive. I don't think he's getting injured. I don't think he's getting ruled out, quite honestly speaking. Love Rami says, Raidu's drama we witness again today. Well, yeah, let's see. I think the CSK would hope that them putting it out there in public that they wouldn't exactly be that he wouldn't be retiring. I think they would hope that that's the end of the story. But again, we don't really know, and quite frankly, I really don't know. I really don't know if there's going to be more news leaks, if there's going to be new things coming to out in the open. We don't know. For CSK's sake, they're going to hope that that's case closed. But again, we'll know soon enough. So Netra Bapradekar is saying India leading in the Thomas Cup 2-0. You know what, Netra? Thank you for pointing that out. I am well aware, and I'm also following the match scores live here. So in case India do in fact get to that Thomas Cup glory, they actually win it. Siddharth Vishwanathan, my colleague, who you know as Siri or Wikipedia or whatever it is you want to call him, will be going live to discuss that because he's done a preview, he's done other videos on it. He's also going to be going live to discuss it. That's why in fact he's not here and I'm holding down the fort. So let's see now. I hope they win because it's great to see Indian badminton on the top again, and it's great to see the rise of someone like Lakshya Sen, and of course the doubles pair of Chirag and Satwik do really well. So anyway, that's that for that, and we're going to focus on the match at hand. Time to take a few comments. Ishan Saini says Mayank Agarwal best captain and a team man. I mean, he's done okay at Punjab this time around. I'll give him that. His batting could be a bit better, but I think that's also down to the fact that they've not really settled at the top. So let's see. Ansh Vishal says if RR lose today, I think it will be over for them. Plus they don't have Hetmeyer too. I mean, see, they do have. Can we look at the points table? I'll need to look at that one for sure because remember RR have 14 points. So actually you're right. If they lose their next two games, their net run rate might be negative. And as we pointed out very clearly, yes, there's no Shimron Hetmeyer. So he might be back for the knockout stages, assuming they make it that far. But again, we don't really know. And I think, yeah, you're right. The second game today is going to be of more importance to, the playoff race. The first one, not so much. Again, the only major stake that can come is that if Gujarat win, they are pretty much guaranteed a spot in the top 2 because I don't think there's any team right now besides Lucknow Super Giants who can actually get to 20 points. So if Gujarat get there, they're all but guaranteed a spot in the top 2. So I think that's the main talking point. Can we go back to the comments? I want to check those out. So go a little down. Yeah, so no, little higher than that. I want to take, oh man, a lot of people asking, will Hagarkekar play? I'm honestly not sure, but I mean, now would be a good time. So, okay, so what is the correct pronunciation of often and controversy? Because you all pronounce these two words differently. Okay, Ridhima Thakur, I'm going to take your question. So, often is OFTEN is often, and controversy, well, you just heard me pronounce it, controversy. So, I hope that answers your question. Dipinder Singh, Shane, you're doing a great job. Well done. Thank you very much. I'm trying to do the best that I can. Can we take some more comments? Okay, great. Love Rami saying MSD will finish the season on a high note because he plays little but effective cameos in batting and in form too. Yeah, who knows, this is last season. Yeah, honestly, I can understand why you'd say that, but I don't think this is going to be his last season. If he's taken back the captaincy the way he did, I think he's going to play at least next season. And if again, we don't know MSD, but my suspicion is that he'll see out his 3-year contract. After that, he'll take his retirement. That's my assumption anyway, but again, we don't really know for sure, so let's just wait and watch. So anyway, I think we're very close to the toss time now, 4 odd minutes away. So let's see. Satyachanda Yadamarthi, your memories of Simons. Yeah, I myself was a little stunned when I woke up to that news, and bear in mind, you guys know till what time I was in office yesterday. I think I reached home by 2 o'clock, and then I wake up and I'm like, wait, Andrew Simons has passed away? That was a bit of a shock, right? So anyway, in that sense, if you're talking about memories of Simons, for me, he was one of those players who could single-handedly change the way the game was played. So, and also, by the way, in case any of you are wondering and asking why I'm alone, well, I'm alone no longer, as you can see, because we have Siddharth joining me here. Just pull the chair up to the side a little. I think that would help. Just try not to block the...
Yep.
Yeah. And I think that should do the trick. Would I have to move to the side? All right.
Yep. So, yes, apologies for what has happened, but yeah, we are on the cusp of history in the Thomas Cup. And at this point in time, India are just about 10 points away from, actually securing an epic win. So.
Which begs the question, how come you joined me now of all times?
Well, I was, because it was like very close in the second game. By the way, Kidambi Srikanth has won the first game against Jonathan Christie. So now he also took the lead now. So I felt okay, after the toss and the team 11s, we can go up and create history at this sense. So I just hope that we get going in this.
Say it loud, say it loud.
I'm saying both of you facing the
Frame, no? Okay.
No.
Okay. This, right?
there.
All right, cool, cool, cool. Just
Okay.
push a little to the side. Okay, I think that should work. No?
I sit there.
Both in the center.
Oh, both in the center. Come to this.
Okay,
Hold
so
on.
fine.
We'll just apologize for this. This is what happens on live TV or
Yep.
live whatever. That is my mic hanging, not anything else.
Yep, so actually it is going to be a very, very chaotic afternoon if you have to look at it. Already, ever since in the morning, we have had plenty of stuff to talk about. Andrew Simons' death
Yeah,
did not
shocked
help.
everyone.
Yeah, it was an absolute shocker. So that is why that is one thing. As far as this game is concerned, folks, Chennai versus Gujarat. There is no significance in this match. Gujarat can seal the top two if that may be done. So if they win against Chennai, the top two is theirs.
Yeah, because they're one of two teams who can reach
Yep.
20 points.
Yep. So in that sense, if Gujarat win today, then they'll get to 20. For Chennai, they can only ensure that they should not end up with the wooden spoon. That is the only thing that they're playing for, because Mumbai is just 2 points behind them. So that is why. So is Shimron Hetmeyer available for today? Well, we'll check out in
I
the
don't
other
think
game
he- I
though.
don't
So
think he is.
let's see about that. Gujarat Titans, well, what is the situation? The toss is about to happen.
Toss is about to happen. We'll tell me take over. Maru Maruti says, can we just go to that comment and stop this thing? Just scroll slightly higher.
Yeah.
Shane, I sent you a question about best captain in IPL history. You guys said that there'll be a Shark Tank, but that didn't come yet. What about that? Okay, so we actually discussed about that, and given the fact that Rohit Sharma has won 5 IPL titles, pretty much an easy shout for the best captain. So I think that's why that hasn't come. And as for future Shark Tanks, well, wait and watch. We might just have other things. on here.
Ratnesh Gaur is asking, do you think that Raidu was not happy with this performance, the team's performance, and then announcement? Well, we have had a lot to discuss about
and
Raidu.
I think
so-
you're correct. You know, he maybe wasn't happy with his own performance, how the team was going.
Yep.
Retired impulsively, and then just they had a talk with him, and he said no. So
Yep.
in that regard,
So,
I think that's the thing. Anyway,
that's about it.
It looks like Chennai have won the
toss. Wow.
If
and-
I were them, I'd choose to bat first, day
Yep.
game. But let's see what it is that they do. Remember, it's at the Wankhede, which is a bit of a slowing track as well. So it would make. Oh, they've chosen to bat indeed.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
sir.
good. Yep. So Chennai have chosen to bat against Gujarat Titans, and what are the changes that they may make? Because everybody is speculating that there will be some changes. Because in the Chennai Super Kings Twitter handle that I saw, they haven't deleted those posts luckily. Rajvardhan Hungergekar was warming up pretty
Yeah,
well.
that's why people were getting a few questions about Hungergekar as well. As I've said before, they're very clever with their social media usage, not just them, but all teams. Because as we know, Mumbai Indians have been posting Arjun Tendulkar content since the start of the season. He hasn't got a sniff at a game yet. So I would.
for Chennai Super Kings when it comes to the power play. So in that sense, it's a great thing that they have had, because initial starting the problems that they had with the power play was that they didn't get wickets.
Yeah.
But Tikshana came in and he ensured that he got wickets at regular intervals. Conway, 3 consecutive 50s that he scored, but in the fourth game against Mumbai Indians, a DRS failure, the power failure ensured that the DRS was not working, and so that is why he was dismissed for a duck.
Also, he said that we have a lot of changes. Interesting.
Oh, okay. So I think they've revamped the entire team, and it's a kind of a situation when it comes to 2023. Are they preparing for 2023 from this match itself?
Maybe, it's the second last game of theirs.
Yeah.
They really have nothing to gain or lose at this point.
Yep.
Whether you finish 9th, 10th, I don't think it really matters in the grand scheme of things, especially when you are 4-time champions.
Yes.
So maybe they're deciding that, okay, we're going to just see, who it is that we'd like to build the team around, because as we know, still a bit of an aging side. So in that sense, it would definitely be interesting to see what changes they make, because I don't think and as I said, I didn't see Gujarat making any changes.
Yeah.
Hardik said same team for us. They're not making changes. They're going to
Yep.
want to get to 20 points and seal a top 2
Sealed
spot.
to top 2. So indeed, yes, Chennai Super Kings have chosen to bat. you can say that there is no changes in the Gujarat, but
Narayan
yeah,
Jagadisan
gets a
Santner
game
gets a
finally.
game,
Yes,
yeah.
Jagadisan
Dubey,
after
okay.
so long he gets a game.
Yeah.
Mitchell Santner, Moin Ali, Shivam Dubey is there. Simarjeet Singh, he was Mukesh Chaudhary, Prashant Solanki, the leg spinner.
And Matisha Patirana.
Pattirane, yeah, they have mispronounced the
I think
name.
they've misspelled the name. But Patirana getting a game is very, very interesting. Wow.
So there was no Tikshana.
no Dikshana, yes.
No Tikshana. So that
Wait,
is
no
what.
Tikshana on a slowing track? What is that?
Oh man, that is really. So yeah, Matisha Pattirana, Sri Lanka's Lasith Malinga
The
part
Lasith
2.
Malinga Jr., yeah.
Yes. So that is a very big change, and he makes his debut today. So out goes Tikshana, in comes Pattirana. Prashant Solanki, the leg spinner, finally gets a game.
So there's plus 4 changes I can count
Yep.
because Santner is back.
Yes.
Jagadisan is there. Prashant Solanki and Patirana. That means
yep.
Jagadisan has come in place of, by the looks of it,
Ambati is not there.
Oh, there's no Raidu.
There
and
is
there
no Raidu.
Robbie.
Robbie. Yep.
Interesting indeed.
Yes,
Ooh,
there is no Raidu.
Oh.
That I think the tweet deletion has not gone down pretty well, I suppose.
Yeah, I think tweet
or
deletion
maybe
cost
he
him a place.
just did not want to play today. They just want to give the other players a chance. So
Yeah, it seems too much of a coincidence that they've dropped him.
yeah.
Honestly. Way
So
too much of a-
Jagadisan in for his first game for Chennai Super Kings.
Yes.
Then Prashant Solanki, the leg spinner.
Our Sai
Sai Kishore was there. He was there in the Chennai Super Kings, but never got a game.
So again, Jagadisan is there, Solanki is there, leg spin.
Yes, first time Chennai Super Kings have employed a leg spinner, if I have to look at it.
Yeah, they've not actually. I mean,
Yeah.
they had Tikshana who's a mystery spinner.
Yep.
He bowls a bit of both.
Yeah, so Matisha Pattirana is now in as well.
So Patirana comes in for his compatriot, Tikshana. Ooh.
Wrapping up in a minute and going up.
Wow. So Patirana in, and I'm very interested to see Patirana
Hello?
because again, I'm not going to sit here and pretend.
No,
that
it's about to finish now. I'm going up in 2 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. I'll do that.
Stuff I've never dealt with before in my
Okay.
life, FYI.
Okay, so they are the 6th team to win the Thomas Cup. Okay,
Right.
India.
As it turns out, that
They'll be
there
the
has
6th
indeed
team to
been
win,
breaking news,
and
guys.
this is the
And
first
it
time
seems
that a
India
major
have
men's
either
tournament has
they've come
been won
close
ever
or
since
they've
Prakash
won
Padukone's
the
All India
Thomas
Badminton.
Cup. So there comes the second or the third
In
time we're
1980.
changing our camera angle for the day, and it is now back to just me.
Gopi tried, but then
I'm
after
talking
that,
guys
there's
from
been
the
very
team
few
changes. As I
limited
said,
success
wow,
if you have to look at it
very
for the
interesting
men.
team changes from the Chennai Super Kings. They've made what 4 changes.
Yeah,
But
Kidambi
again,
is
as I
one
said,
and
they
all
really
that.
have
Then
nothing
you can
to lose.
say
So it would be
14-time
the best
champions
time
Indonesia, they have
to
been
be
beaten
making
3-0.
set
They defeated
team
5-time
changes.
champions
And
Malaysia,
I'm very interested to actually
1-time
see some of
champion
these
Denmark,
guys
en route to the
because, I
title.
mean,
So these are the 3 teams that they defeated.
Patirana, he was signed. Remember, he was signed as a replacement.
5-time champions
and
Malaysia.
He's not gotten a game since.
14-time
he was signed
champions
as a replacement
Indonesia.
for, I think it was Dwayne Pretorius, right?
Yeah.
And well,
Kidambi has
was it
undefeated
Pretorius?
in the
Who was
entire
it? Just
Thomas
let me know in the
Cup.
comments.
In all the matches,
Signed
he's
as a
been undefeated.
replacement, has not gotten a game till now. And he, as I said, he's referred to as Junior Malinga in Sri Lankan cricket circles because he has that same sling arm action. It would be very interested to see how he goes. Again, Prashant Solanki and Jagadisan, 2 interesting young prospects, so would be very much there. Yeah, Sid mic is on. Oh dear God. Can you tell him to switch his mic off? Everyone can hear his conversation. Sarat Chandra Yalamarti saying retirement accepted. Good one, very good one. Yeah. Rahul Dikshit, Srikanth is doing fab. Yeah, he is indeed doing fab. And it's a very happy thing that, because Srikanth is again one of those players who you're very happy to see succeed. And, put your mic off.
It's off.
Great. Anyway, so it's over. India won.
India, they won, I guess. Yes.
So yes, indeed, India have won the Thomas Cup, and I'm back to being alone because Siddharth is rushing up to do a bit of a live and a reaction thing to that. Do check that out whilst keeping it on. Keep the tabs separate. That way you can be part with both of us. That would be great. So anyway, yeah, they've won it. These are all behind. Remember. So anyway, let's keep our focus here. Just go down to the comments, and Rajesh Kumar Pratha says, good to see so many new players in this match for CSK. That is actually true because, as I said, they have nothing to lose. So for them, it would be a good time, as good a time as ever to be trying out new players. So in that sense, very good. In that sense, it's always there. Pradeep Srivalsan says, no Gamezy team today. CSK has gone crazy. Man, yeah, if any of you guys are playing fantasy on the Gamezy app, I would recommend go make a few changes. If you're asking me for an X factor, I would say definitely try and get Mathisa Pathirana into your team, because again, he's a bit of an unknown for most of these players. They've never really seen him. Sling arm action, if he nails it, going to be very hard to pick. So I think he would be the player who I'm picking as a bit of an X factor. I will be making my team changes very soon. But again, for now, I'm going to be here to talk you guys through what should be a very interesting thing. Oh yeah, he came in place of Adam Mill, Ratnesh Gaur. Thank you for pointing it out. Adam Mill was the one. They've had so many injuries, it's a little hard to keep track. And Rahul Dixit asked, your top two who you're seeing in the final. Ish. See, I don't know about that, because right now I think Gujarat would be favourites for the final. Who else joins them? I really don't know. Big Boy says Pathiranage. Okay, here's the thing. When we announced this thing and when we did a Google search, it was spelled as Pathirana, and the broadcasters are, as we know, saying Pathiranage. So we will, we'll have to wait and watch what exactly the thing is. I'm sticking with Pathirana. If indeed it is wrong, I'll be happy to correct myself and issue an apology later on. Rajesh asks, do you think CSK will buy Stokes for next IPL? He would be a very good buy, but given that he's now become England captain, he's actually might just end up prioritizing the county season more often. The county season does tend to clash with the IPL, so I'm not sure, if they did buy him, how many games, he would be available for. So I'm not sure that he would be the best buy in the world in that regard, because when it comes to pure ability, hell yeah. But how much his availability will be, I don't really know for sure. So, but again, this is a very, very interesting CSK team, because it's very, very, it's a very, very different team from what we've been seeing. They've made a lot of changes, and I, for one, am very keen to see how it is they go. Siddharth Pandey says, people say Kohli is a bottom-handed player, but he's got all the drives possible and most of the shots in the book. Your views? Again, see, being bottom-handed or top-handed doesn't necessarily mean that you can't drive. I'm sure you can drive. It's just, it's the fact is that most of your power comes from your lower hand, and oftentimes that's not the mark of what is known as technically correct in that sense. So Weber was asking, what about Raidu? We did wonder whether or not he would be benched today or not. We got an answer. It could very well be that they plan to bench him anyway, considering they've played so many new players. But it's too much of a coincidence. Musal is asking, why are you all alone today? I already answered that question. People are busy with all sorts of things. I am holding down the fort here. Weber was asking, what will City do if RCB wins this year's IPL? We'll get him to do 100 push-ups on the show, because he did 30 for CSK. I think he'd need to do 3 times more if RCB end up winning the tournament. Maru Maruthi says, for the first time this IPL, a team has won their next match after playing against Mumbai Indians, and that's KKR last night. Yes, we broke the jinx, and I hope we can continue that winning momentum when we take on the Lucknow Super Giants, get to 14 points, and maybe potentially get a top 4 spot. This is a dead rubber talk about parts. We will talk about the evening game. We're going to be with you all day, but for now, we are going to focus on the dead rubber. Even though, as we said, this is indeed, there's nothing much to play for here for either side. CSK playing for pride, Gujarat for at most a top 2 spot, but they're already guaranteed. Nothing. Shane Lone Warrior. You're right. I am a lone warrior with all of my family members today, and I'm enjoying it. So I hope you guys are too. Anyway, we'll try taking more questions. Rajesh says, for South Africa tour, Hardik or SIR, best choice for captain. I'm a little surprised they didn't pick Shreyas, and that's not just because of my obvious KKR bias. But, this is Hardik's first season captaining in any level, and I did think that maybe they would have looked at him, or maybe they just think Hardik as someone has always been seen as, a captaincy candidate for the Indian team, so maybe they want to try him out. That would be interesting, but I think whoever they pick, there's no wrong answer in that regard. So Pradeep says that without Bravo and Tikshana, the bowling looks very weak. Gujarat will chase this down easily unless Rituraj and Devon take the game away. Can we just scroll down? Now I am a diehard RCB fan this season. Oh man alive, I don't think you should switch your allegiances to RCB just yet. But I do agree that, with no Tikshana and no Bravo, Suddenly, that bowling lineup looks a little interesting. I mean, it's not as strong as it should be because there's been a Simarjeet has been solid, not spectacular. Mukesh Chaudhary, well, he's taken wickets but also gone for runs. So again, I'll be very interested to see how the likes of Prashant Solanki and Matisha Patirana do. What is happening? Anyway, if you guys can hear that, apologies. I have no idea what's happening either. There's something or the other going on. But anyway, Ronak Agarwal sent us a super chat. Ronak, thanks you. Is this the end of the road for CSK's old boys like Raidu and Uthappa? And you've given me two questions. So let me answer this one first. I don't think it's going to be the end for Uthappa. Raidu, they've already confirmed, will play next season. But I think he's been dropped today as disciplinarian action. So I don't think it's the end of the road. No. And after Baz, whom will you consider for KKR's head coaching role? That's a very good question too. I would like personally, and this is a suggestion we've gotten from a lot of our family members, I would like to see Ravi Shastri in that dugout. Whether it happens, I don't know, but you're asking me for my personal choice, I'd say bring, to replace Baz, you got to go with Shaz. For me personally, I would love to see, Shastri over there and just teaching these guys in his typical wisdom. I'd love to see that for sure. Let's go through the other comments. The super chats have been answered. Okay, Love Rami, I don't quite know the answer to that question yet. So when we do know, I promise I'll let you know. Parth says top 2 spot is guaranteed for GT as LSG and RR play each other, so one of them will drop some points. Agreed. But I think they still want to get to 20 points because there's no such thing as too many wins in that regard. So, I agree. I don't think they're going to be taking their foot off the pedal. Pradeep Srivalsan says, RCB fan because Siri will have to do 100 push-ups. Okay, I'm going to pass it on to him that I have promised on his behalf on this show that he's going to be doing 100 push-ups. I'd love to see how it is that he responds to that, So, Rajesh Kumar Pata says, Shastri, great choice. Thank you. Musa Slal asking me, you like football more or cricket? No, I prefer football, honestly. But that doesn't mean that I hate cricket. I'm a lover of multiple sports. If you guys have been following me on this channel, I've covered sports from whether it be football, cricket, Formula 1. I've even dropped in numerous boxing references. So I watch a lot of sport and I don't discriminate among them. I think all sports in their own unique manner are beautiful. I know this might sound like a very diplomatic answer from me, but trust me, even if you know people personally who know me, they say that I'm constantly talking about sport. So when I tell them, especially if I meet new people, I tell them, hey, you know what, I'm a sports journalist. They're like, it's the least surprising thing ever. Anyway, Vaibhav, sir, tell me some books to read on football. That's an interesting question. It depends on what kind of a fan you are. I would definitely recommend Reversing the Pyramid. That's a very technical book though. So again, at your own discretion. If you want good autobiographies, Pele Maradona for sure. Highly recommended. Read Sir Alex Ferguson's book. Very, very enjoyable. In fact, I'd recommend to read both his books. Besides his autobiography, he also wrote this book called Leading, which I thought was a very nice book because it gives you a lot of tips on, mindset when it comes to, approaching things from a business and football perspective. I really enjoyed reading that. Musalal says, the way you laugh is hilarious. Well, thank you very much. I'm loving the fact. Oh, wait, it's Musal Sal, an Urdu word. I am so sorry. Please do forgive me for mispronouncing your name. As someone whose name has been mispronounced since I was a kid, I can understand just how, just how annoying that is. So my apologies. Love Ramesh says, Shane says a foodie. I saw his Insta bio. Spot on. In fact, I post a lot of reels and stuff when it comes to food as well. So if you guys want, you can check that out. It's at Shane, SHAYNE CDIAS. Check that out if you can. Weber says, who's your favorite football manager? Ooh. Okay, this is a good one. And since this match is a dead rubber, I'm talking about anything and everything. Who's my favorite football manager? Okay, I have a soft spot for two managers who are actually big time rivals. So I love Jose Mourinho because I'm a Chelsea fan. But I also have a major soft spot for Pep Guardiola because I love his approach, his tactical approach to things. Jurgen Klopp, Thomas Tuchel would again be my joint top 3 if you're asking. And that's the thing. Vaibhav says, Abhi karte hain follow. I thank you very much, Vaibhav. So anyway, let's get back to the game in hand. I think I've answered a lot of your personal questions and I will answer more of them. If you guys ever join us live, I promise. I love interacting with you guys. But Gujarat are saying, that Gujarat have gone with the same team, which again, not much of a shock. So can we just check out their team? I want to actually go through their 11 a little bit. So obviously, even though Gujarat have won a lot of games, I still maintain there are some players there who would be looking for some form. So Saha has been up and down, although he's had more up than down lately. Shubman Gill, man, that guy needs a big knock. He really, really needs a big knock. Same with, to an extent, Matthew Wade, who's been in and out of the team. Now is like the designated 3. Hardik has been pretty good. Miller has been very good, although again, form tapered off a bit. Rahul Tewate has been arguably one of their better players this year. Rashid, again, I think, Rashid Khan on this Wankhede pitch would be very, very interesting to watch. Him and Sai Kishore could actually spin webs around the CSK batsmen. Alzari Joseph, again, there's not much of a surprise that they've persisted with him, although, they have Lockie on the bench, so I don't know. Yash Dayal been very, very impressive since he's come in, and of course, Mohammad Shami, who for me is a sure shot starter for India at the T20 World Cup. So it's a bit of a mixed team, but I think where Gujarat have actually done much better than other teams is that when push comes to shove, there's always been one player who's really stepped up to the plate for them and gotten the job done. All right. Love Rami says F1 Drive to Survive coming on Netflix, can't wait. Yes, been renewed for 2 more seasons. Benjamin Andrew Stokes says, woo, one-man show. Woo, indeed. Ric Flair style. Woo! Anyway, Saurabh Lanjawar says, Shane sir, Messi or CR7, who's the best according to you? First off, I'm going to give you 2 answers to that. Diplomatic answer is there's no wrong answer. Whoever you prefer, there's no wrong answer. But me, I'm a little bit more of a Messi fan than Ronaldo fan. Sorry, Ronaldo fans, I like him too. Anyway, next question. Emmanuel Arfin, Shane bro, I like that. So, see this, Anurag? They've transitioned from Shane sir to Shane bro all in the space of 1 comment. I love it. Anyway, you can just call me Shane also and I'm good. Shane bro, could Shami have been rested for these last 2 matches of GT? It would be a valid point, but I think they might actually just give him a rest for the next game. I do think they can rest it because, they've already sealed their qualification and 1 more win means top 2 is also guaranteed. Vaibhav, I'm going to take your question again. Why can cricket teams have managers rather than coaches? Like, these players don't require any coaching, they rather require man management. Oh, that is a very interesting question, and I'm going to tell you this. I know that in cricket they often use the term head coach to refer to a player, or to a person who's in the dugout, the coach. But I don't think, as you're saying, they don't do much coaching. You're right, because if you're playing at this level, then you don't need to be taught the difference between a cover drive and a square drive. So I don't think that actually coached. It's more about ensuring team combinations, it's more about ensuring man management, as you say. So in cricket, the role of a coach is actually, for me, more man management than it is entirely tactical, because again, for tactical, you would be collaborating with the captain as well. So, that's why I think, I think they are actually more like football managers in that sense. So, Sanket Joshi, David Miller, player of the season for GT. I mean, it's a good shout. And for me personally, I think David Miller has been my surprise package of the year. Know why? Because besides 2014, he's not actually had a great time in the IPL, yet he's consistently been picked by franchises. It's quite amazing. So, the fact that he's actually come here, and he's done as well as he has been a shock to me, and he's actually even played spin well. So even that is a different thing. Rohan Mehra, should Shreyas Iyer play Sheffield Shield and domestic as he becomes a better player of bouncers? I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure how keen they would be to have him over there, but I do think that he can work on that bouncer thing. So in that sense, I absolutely agree. Saundesh says Bumrah could have been rested as all MI matches are taken. Dead rubber man, you guys crack me up every single day. I do agree though. I think, for the next 2 matches, MI could also be bring in Arjun Tendulkar and give Bumrah a rest. I don't know. I think at this point their season is pretty much done. They were the first team eliminated. They don't really need to be overworking Bumrah that much. But as we know, franchise cricket are not going to care that much about the Indian team prospects unless there are directives from the BCCI. So until the BCCI explicitly points out that, oh, you need to rest these players, they aren't going to do it. Bumrah is going to play all games, and same with Shami. Just scroll down. I think there's some more comments. Okay. Maru Maruti says, Shane, pick one. Tilak, Mohsin or Yash Dayal? Man, that's very hard, especially considering I think between Mohsin and Yash Dayal, I'd go for Mohsin very slightly. Tilak for me has been the outstanding young batter of the season. I mean, if you look at it, he's probably been Mumbai's second best batsman this year after Surya. And that's no mean feat considering they've been really poor. It's one thing for a young player to come in and perform well in a team that's firing on all cylinders. Quite the other for a team, for a player to come into a team that's been absolutely struggling the way MI have. They won, 3 games? And, come in and play so well, so consistently, only to be consistently let down by the bowlers. So I think, for me, all 3 of these guys, and that's, I think, one of the things I've always loved about the IPL. The motto of the IPL, they say, is where talent meets opportunity. And I think we're seeing that more and more, especially this year with 10 franchises. The teams are having to rely more on their young talent. And that's a wonderful thing because you're giving these guys a nice platform, which is kind of like domestic cricket, but which mixes in a lot of international flavor. So it's a good testing ground in that regard. And I'm very happy to see all of these guys do as well as they have. I think there's few more, just scroll down. Okay, Ronak Agarwal asked, do you think it'll be tough for teams like KKR who can go to max 14 points for qualification to depend on matches of teams involving MI, GT, CSK as they might not? Yes, that is why I always say that if you're a team that is looking to qualify for the playoffs, which is of course always the goal, you should look to control what it is you can control. You can't control results of other teams, but you can control your own results. So, in that sense, I think you should always look to get to 18 points, at most 16 points or at minimum 16 points. 14 points, as you say, you're asking for a lot of, permutations, combinations to fall your way. Oh, Jamie Vardy, hello dude. Talk about the Thomas Cup. It's not a joke to win this cup, far greater than IPL. Hey, I agree with you, but since this is the IPL pre-show, I'm going to be talking about the IPL. If you want to talk about the Thomas Cup, Siddharth Vishwanathan is live as we speak. Yes, we're simultaneously doing lives on this very channel and he's talking about the Thomas Cup. Please go and join him and he'd be more than happy to welcome you, but keep my stream open as well. We need that sweet, sweet traffic, my friend. Anyway, more comments. Sandesh says, Virat and Rohit's decade-long careers have passed, but they haven't played a single test versus Pak. Yeah, I agree. I would have loved to see them play test match cricket against Pakistan, but unfortunately, cricket relations with Pakistan is not the purview of the BCCI. If it were up to them, I'm sure they'd be keeping series, but really it's not, up to them. Ron Mehra is asking, if Ajinkya is unfit to open in the next match for KKR, which other Indian opener you prefer, Shane? If Ajinkya is indeed unfit, I really have no idea. I'll be banging my head against the wall because he's actually their best opener in that regard. And if he's actually unfit, my worry is they'll bring back someone like Aaron Finch. Personally, I think if you're taking a punt, I think they should bring back Sheldon Jackson and make him open. Tell him, bat like Ajinkya only. Don't look to hit 6s and 4s. Play a sheet anchor role, let Venkatesh hit. So I think I'd pick Sheldon Jackson. Love Rami says prediction time. Okay, we are predicting 195 for who's batting first? Chennai. And Chennai to win. 195 on this track. Jeez, okay. But if you're asking for my prediction, I think they'll score 173. Would be what they got. And by the way, yesterday I got my score prediction this close because I said 178 and KKR score 177. So I'm picking 173 because I expect the openers to do well. Middle order is a wee bit shaky. And I think I'm going to agree with Love here. I say, CSK are winning. I don't know why I get that feeling. I just do. I don't know why, because oftentimes teams that have nothing to lose will just play with more freedom. Rahul Dixit says, Shane has been vocal for all sports every day. Thank you for pointing that out. I do indeed love watching all sports, not just cricket, every single sport out there. If you tell me, you have to do a video on something, I'll actually go and watch that sport as well. In that sense, I enjoy my job a lot. So that's my prediction for you guys. Let's see now what happens when it comes to, the match. Again, you guys can drop your predictions in the comments. I will shout them out in that. So, Benjamin Andrew Stokes, man, you need to stick to one screen name. Dikshit. Is there now a hygiene issue in IPL? How can Shaw get infected with typhoid in mid-season? Man, I have no idea how that happened. I mean, I don't know how that happened, quite frankly, and I wish him a speedy recovery. And also, I don't know about a hygiene issue, but there is something wrong in that Delhi bio bubble, man. They've had multiple COVID cases, typhoid also. I don't get what's there. Vivek Keshwani, are you excited to watch Junior Malinga? Yes, I am. In fact, I think that's the only reason I wanted Gujarat to win the toss, was that we'd get to see him bowl earlier on. So, I would have loved to watch that, but again, we get to watch him bowl in the second innings. Love to see a nice, gunslinger back, especially a Sri Lankan gunslinger. Big Boy says 160 GT win. Ooh, very interesting. 160 if it is, then I'd back this GT side to chase it down comfortably. But again, remember, this pitch is going to slow down just a tad. Aman Sarwang says, CBI probing IPL fixing 2019, your thoughts? Too early to say anything. Because again, right now there's a probe going on. I don't know honestly what exactly has happened there in that regard, because again it's just all speculation. We don't know who's involved, how deep the matter runs. So I'm holding my fort and I'm holding back my opinions on this until that. Right. Benjamin Andrew Stokes says, I was logged in a different phone yesterday, so I was a different account, didn't change name. Thank you for explaining that. Makes a lot more sense now. Ronak Agarwal says, would have been better if Cummins would have taken Finch with him back to Oz. He's been a total disappointment. Agree, although he did score that 150 against Rajasthan. Besides that, absolute bust. I was kind of disappointed to see Cummins go back because, he had just started performing well, had a good game against MI, and then he has to go and get injured. Love Rami says, genuinely saying, I don't know much about F1, but since watching F1 shows piques my interest, learning about the sport day by day. Salute to your dedication. Love always back at you. And as we can see, the batsmen are out on the field. Gujarat are set. Mohammad Shami's got the ball in his hands. He is getting ready to open. So as things stand, I'm going to take your leave. Thank you all very much for joining me. It's been a very tough live for us because I've had people come in and out and I've had to talk a lot. But of course, your strength and your love keeps me and all of us going. Don't forget to download the Gamezy app and play some fantasy. Again, if you haven't made your team for the whole match, no problem. Make it for 1 innings, make it for 2 innings, both separate teams. Make it for 5 over slots. You stand a chance to win up to 5 crores daily. As always, I've been Shane Dice and I am going to be joining you in the middle of this innings, hopefully with some people